I felt someone blow in my face to get me to stop. Like my hair flickered. It felt like someone just went to my face and went. I have sad news to share with you today, especially if you did not see the last video or if you didn't watch it all the way through and you missed this part. This video is to update you on something. Otherwise, it'll be confusing to just carry on. I'm refilming this video. I'll get to that in a second. But I started my journey on this channel with 3 cats. And those cats were my family. I grew up with 2 narcissistic parents. I was the scapegoat in a very toxic, cult-oriented type of narcissistic, toxic family, including extended family. And my animals were literally my family and my reason for living. If you haven't seen me talk about this already, they were literally my reason for living. And one time I almost chose to leave this realm, and the only reason I stayed was because I knew that I needed to care for them, because I love them so much. And I didn't trust anyone around me to make sure that they were well taken care of. They are literally the reason I am alive. And I don't care who doesn't get it or who thinks it's stupid. I don't care. You are really insignificant, okay? On the holidays, 2023 to 2024, so Christmas 2023, on Christmas Eve, Nala passed. And I didn't tell you guys the circumstances around that yet because it's a very heavy story, and I'm going to tell that whole story in a completely different video. But the circumstances around her passing were also very stressful and very painful. Then a couple days later my mother died, and then all the other things. And then July 4th I had to put down my second cat, my little Pooky, my baby. And she was I really felt like she was like a soulmate. I know it's a weird thing to say, but if you've ever experienced it, you would understand what I mean. That I felt so close to this cat for some reason. I loved her so much. And her body just started shutting down, and the vet said that even if we did all of the things to keep her alive, that she would not have a good quality of life. And after everything that I went through with Nala, trying everything to keep her alive, I recognized the mistake that I made in that, and not just letting her go, because I thought I could save Nala. I thought I could fix it. So by the time my little Pooky was going, I knew that I didn't want to make the same mistake. I wanted to be logical and look at the options, but I also was certain, and the vet validated it, that there was no fixing it. And that if I was to keep her alive, it would be selfish, because she would be struggling and really not having a good time, and just to exist in this realm for my own comfort. And it wasn't fair. It wouldn't be fair. I knew that the right thing to do was to let her go. And it was validated to me in many ways, but a few days before that, I could tell it was coming, and she had very consistent habits. And so every day she would do the same things, same routine, and she was sitting on the couch, on the rug. I was sitting on the couch, she was sitting on the rug, like usual, and I just recognized what was happening, and I looked at her and I said, I think I have to send you soon to go back to be with your sister. And she looked at me like somehow she understood what I said, and she got up, and that was not normal. It's not normal for her to lay on the carpet like that, and for me to say something and for her to get up and come to crawl on me. She got up on the couch and came on my shoulder, and she crawled into my neck, and she snuggled with me so hard, and I knew that it was a sign. It was validation from her soul or something, and I was being told that this was going to be what was happening, and I had to get ready for it. And I knew in that moment that was the last time that we were gonna snuggle like that. I just knew. And I don't remember how long after that, maybe later that day or a couple days later, that she just her body just stopped functioning properly. I know that it was time, and I know that I did the right thing, but I still blame myself for her being sick at all. I question everything I've ever done, everything I've ever fed them, every choice I've ever made. So now it's me and Spot. It's my family is me and Spot. I have lost a lot this year, and I'm not saying that for any kind of pity. Please understand that this is why I refilmed this, because First of all, I did not intend to bawl again. It's been months, and I thought I could get through without being so emotional, but I guess I can't. I refilmed it because so much has happened over the past few months, and I know that I have every right to be as upset as I am. But I also recognize that everyone has been going through it in their own way. Everyone has been going through it. The world as a whole has been going through it. If you're going through a hard time, if you've watched this long, I imagine it's got to be really hard to get through a video like this. But if you've watched this long, if you're going through a hard time, you're not alone, and it does get better. And it's for a bigger purpose, even though it might not be easy to see that right now. It is for a bigger purpose. And I think I'll leave you with this about death. One of the most powerful things that I've experienced this year, because of all the loss that I've experienced, is that it made me aware of the other side. Meaning, I've always kind of known, but I've always also doubted it. Things happen and I'll brush it off and I'll be like, well, that can't be real, or maybe it's not real, or not paying attention to it as much. And then with everything that happened this year, I'll probably put it in a different video because I don't think anybody's watching at this point, but if you are, thank you. I've had many dreams. This is just one thing. I have had many dreams of my cats communicating with me, where Nala warned me in advance that Pooky was going to be going next, and she made sure that I let her outside as much as possible so that she could experience that and so that I wouldn't regret not doing it. I've had experiences where Spot saw them and like ran for her life because they spooked her, and then they ran through the wall, and then she sat there meowing at the wall forever. Very strange things, and things where I had dreams where Nala showed me that she had the ability to change videos on the screen of whatever I was watching. And that's when I realized, oh my God, if after she passed, I would be scrolling on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and then I would see one video after the other where there was a cat named Nala that never left her owner's side. It would just be like different people with different channels with the same name, the same cat's name, and the same theme. And that's not a coincidence, and that's not the algorithm. And then I would just keep seeing videos of animals named Nala, or cats that look like her. And then after Pooky died, it took a while, and she was missing for a while. I didn't get dreams, I didn't get anything from her, and I didn't understand why. I still don't know yet. But then she started showing up, and it was all over the place, and I would just go on Facebook and see a bunch of posts. As soon as I opened the app, there'd be a post of a cat that looked exactly like her, and I'd just see cats like her all over the place. And I know you can say, oh, that's just because I'm paying attention to it. There's another cat in the neighborhood, a black cat, and I went I was sitting on the couch next to Spot. Spot was beside me. I'm sitting on the couch. And I see something moving on the porch outside, and I thought it was a squirrel, and then I'm like, that's too big for a squirrel. And I thought maybe it was a raccoon, but it was in the middle of the day, so that was weird. And then I got up and I got closer, and I was looking at a little black cat that looked exactly like Pooky, sitting exactly at where she sits, looking out at the grass exactly how she looks at the grass. And she turned around, the little cat turned around and looked me in the face with her little yellow eyes. It's like Pooky. And I'm like, holy shit, that's my baby. And I knew that it wasn't her. I knew that it was a neighbor's cat that looked like her, but that cat never comes on the porch. She's very scared, skittish. And I walked up to the door, and she saw me, and she bolted. But in that moment, I'm like, that was a sign. My baby put her there to show me.
I am losing it. Oh my God, look at this. Baby! No, don't leave! Baby! Where are you? Oh my God. There she is. Oh, she ran away. That was not my cat. That was not my cat, guys. Oh my God. Spot. This is my cat. This is my cat. Hey, baby. This is Spot. The other cat was the little black cat from the neighborhood, sitting on the porch as if she was my baby, like my little baby that passed.
And there's lots of other things. But it's pushing me to really accept. And my mother's done things as well, like really crazy shit. And like I told, like, if you don't know, my mother and I did not have a good relationship here because she was a narcissist and it was extremely toxic. And then whatever, I have some mediumship abilities as part of why I'm talking about this. But after she passed, you know, beyond the apologies and the conversations, there was a couple things that were extremely profound, like one day we were in the we were both upstairs. Me and my father were upstairs. I was in my room, he was in his room, and suddenly the entire house started to smell like cooking, like someone was making a soup. And the whole house started to smell really, 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 really strong, like someone was making dinner. And neither of us were cooking anything. And then afterwards, I went downstairs, and as I was going downstairs, it still smelled of food. It really smelled like someone was cooking in the kitchen. But there was nobody else in the house and nobody was cooking. And so we talked about that. We both experienced that very real reality of the house smelling like someone was cooking when nobody was there cooking. There was another time where I was standing in the kitchen, spiraling into anger about what I was living through, and I felt someone blow in my face to get me to stop spiraling into negativity. Like my hair flickered. There was no open window, there was no vent, there was nothing. It felt like someone just went to my face and went just to get me to snap out of my frame of mind, my thought process. So I'm really learning to grasp in such a real, tangible way that this is not all there is. The physical realm, we are so used to thinking that this is everything, and it's really, really not. And everyone who dies still exists. They are still alive. They are just no longer in pain in this physical realm, in this physical body, no longer suffering, no longer scared, no longer full of shame and rage and whatever else. I think that was the point of why I refilmed this, because I know that a lot of people are passing away, have been passing away, and will continue to pass away more than what's normal. And so I want you to know that they still exist in such a real and profound way. This is the dream. This reality is just a simulation. And all of this is for a bigger purpose, because the world is going through this transition, this awakening of our collective consciousness. And unfortunately, that means that a lot of people need to be the catalyst for that change. Thanks for listening. I love you guys.